Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brave Days with This Is My Brave. I'm Erin Gallagher, Program Manager with This Is My Brave. I'm here today with Every Heard. Ev, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me, Erin.
And we're doing art. For this is our third installment of Art with Ev, and Ev has been inspiring us with color wheels, and kind of exploring mixing of colors. And then last week, which I said I was going to work at
Shapes.
shapes. Where's my thing? Oh, here's
Here's
my
my
shapes from last
colors
week.
and shapes.
Yeah, so we just explored. It was great to just sit and be mindful of just this time and space and not think about other things that may be getting to us. And that's the whole point of our Brave Days this month. If you haven't seen them all, they do live on our Crowdcast channel. So if you want to go explore some of the things that we've been doing this month, to emphasize mindfulness, to emphasize wellness. We've explored poetry, we've explored writing and art. And Ev is going to talk to us today about a way that she's exploring music and art, or music and color. I don't want to misrepresent, so maybe you could tell us how, what your experiences in life have brought you to in terms of this new project that you're doing.
Sure. So I call it music coloring community because I was so supported and embraced by other creative people upon going through the beginning phases of seeking help, checking into a hospital, coming out of the hospital, and just trying to form good relationships, healthy relationships that would help me build the good structure and practices for being able to resume life in a way that was good. So, music has always been a passion of mine. I've liked art, but I haven't felt adequate. I think that's the biggest hurdle for anyone
Yeah,
hearing that this is a great coping mechanism. They'll say, well, I'm not good at it.
right.
And
Yeah,
it's like, it doesn't matter whether you perceive that you're good at something to be able to do it anyways. In
yeah,
fact, that's how you get good. It just means that you're doing it frequently enough, often enough that you begin to feel like, actually, there was a way I liked it when I did that. I'm going to keep doing that. And you keep finding
yeah,
those things.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I used to teach preschool, and I've also worked for an art education company. And so at the preschool, we really obviously emphasized art, right? But
Yeah.
in all of those things, there's the tension between process and product. And our emphasis in any of those realms that I've worked in has always been process and
Yes.
not product, because it's through the process of just exploring the art, exploring the medium, exploring the tools and the techniques, that the healthful benefits come. It's not, I mean, if if product were the answer, then all of these amazing famous artists would have been, you know, wonderfully well-adjusted people.
Right? Yeah, no, that is a phenomenal point that the people we look back at and really admire the most were not valued by their contemporaries oftentimes, or their work wasn't worth anything when they were alive. So,
Right.
in that sense, this is much more process based. It's
Yeah.
much more about just being able to engage with other people. And that's part of why it was so important for me to make this. Was I was hanging out with other musicians,
Hmm.
realizing that some of them knew how to read sheet music, some of them played entirely by ear, some of them knew what things were called, and other ones, like it's all over the place what the knowledge base is. But if you can be able to find different ways to communicate that information, is why I came up with something that looks like it's for kindergartners.
Okay, so this is the point of this tool is to be able to create music, but have an easy, accessible step in to making music in a way, if you've never had formal instruction in what a quarter note is or what a C or a D or an E or an F
Yes,
is, right?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And I'll say right off the front that I find most people who talk about making music want to talk a lot about rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
whereas mine is kind of like, if you know what it sounds like in your head, just try to make it sound like what's in your head. But
Sure.
if what we're looking for is the quote unquote right notes,
Yeah.
then this is a little map of where all the notes are.
Okay.
There are 12 notes in all of Western music. So I have every single one of them represented by a lovely color here.
Okay, yeah.
And these aren't special markers. These are Crayola markers that cost me less than $10 for a box.
Great.
And so I have all of the colors here. And then as far as the notes are concerned, this is my chart for what traditional music looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And each one here, you can see, all the red ones are going to be the same note.
Okay.
But they're a different shape because remember how we talked about letting the shapes kind of represent the number of sides that go in?
Right.
So the shapes that are the lower, so like two sides to a heart, they're going to be a lower sound than when we get up to the next red one. Oh, that's going to be a little higher of that note. And likewise up again.
Like that's the octave.
Yes, that's the octave.
Like 2 is the lower octave, 3 is a middle, and 4 would be a higher octave.
Yeah, you could think about it like sort that.
Sorry.
On the piano.
Am I putting too much structure in?
No. I like that you're bringing this up because the piano is a good way to see the whole thing side by side linearly.
Yeah.
And in that sense, if you touch the note right in the very center, it's middle C.
Yes.
That's technically the fourth one up on the piano.
C, yeah.
Got it. So that if you're at a square C, then you're going to be in the middle. And I have the illustration right here.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, of where the triangle turns into the square.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah. Okay. And that one will be represented here.
All right.
Yep. So actually this note here, this triangle B, we're going to play with this one today.
Okay.
We're going to play with that one. And I have all of the notes laid out that we're going to play with today.
Wow.
So you can see I'm only really going to use one string here.
Okay. So we're staying within one kind of range of notes that you've got colored there on the piano.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So we don't use all 12 of them at a time. Usually we use ranges of maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them at a time. And then I'm going to just play this one string here that's yellow.
Yeah.
I'm also going to play the string, but I'm never going to do anything but just hit it by itself. So that's why that's just colored in that way.
Okay.
All right. Now, would it be okay if I picked up the guitar and just showed you those two?
Sure. That's great. Oops. I'm super curious how this is going to come together.
So these first two here are just the strings when I'm not touching anything at all. Okay. They're just tuned that way. And the color B, blue, will be blue. And then this will be a G, yellow. Okay. So what that'll sound like is just this.
Because you're not touching anything.
Not touching anything. Sorry. I didn't realize you can't see
anything.
I'm touching the string over here.
Yeah, but you're not actually pushing any of those. What are they called? Frets?
They are called frets. So thank you. This is a little vocabulary here. This is the neck of the guitar.
Right.
And in the same way that music on a piano, it goes from the leftmost being the lower notes to the right being the higher notes.
Yeah.
On the guitar, I have the chart laid out the same way. These are the lowest notes, and they happen up here when I'm not touching anything. The way that sound works is the bigger an instrument, the lower the sound, and the smaller the instrument, the higher the sound.
That makes so much sense because we have tubas making very low sounds and piccolos making very high sounds. So Never
Or
thought of it that way. I guess if you'd paid me, said I'll pay $100 if you could figure this out, I could have noodled that through, but I never really made
you
that
always
the
remember
connection.
that a big football player, he's going to sound lower
Right,
than
that's
a
true.
little kid is going to sound
Yeah,
smaller.
that's true. That's true.
So
Okay.
then that way, this is that B string.
Mm-hmm.
This is as low as that B will ever get. But as
Mm-hmm.
I put my finger on a fret, I'm shortening it.
Okay.
And if I put it closer to me, it's getting
Okay.
shorter and shorter.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, so if I just wanted to go ahead and play you what would sound familiar, I might play what sounds like do re mi, right?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that would be something that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to use all that today. Today, I'm just going to focus on this other thing because it's very, very simple to show you how easy it is to make up a song, right?
Okay.
So I can play a whole song with just 2 strings. I'm going to show you the first part. I have 3 parts made up of this song that
Okay.
only use these notes.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. My song.
Okay.
This is the first part, super easy, not touching anything. But if I look at my chart, this blue one, I'm going to turn it into this magenta note
Okay.
by putting my finger on the 3rd fret. Sorry, my microphone is touching the guitar. There we go. Magenta has replaced blue. And now I'm playing yellow and magenta. I can move up again and turn magenta into red. And then I can let go and be back at magenta. And let go and go back to blue.
But
All that I'm playing is 4 different notes, right?
Right.
Here's 2 of them. There's the 3rd one. There's the 4th one.
wow.
Go back to that one. Now, if I want to get fancy, I'm going to add in these other colors. That was a yellow into like a sunshine. Simple.
So I have a question.
Do ask.
So you could hand me a guitar
Yes.
and that sheet and you would show me in terms of colors. I could play that with no further instruction. I just like the first time I come out and sit down, I could come up with that.
Yeah.
That feels amazing. Like, here's the thing about like guitars. The nice thing about guitars is I think they make a full sound on their own, right?
Yeah, they do.
Where a piano, you'd probably have to figure out how to use both hands to get a really good full sound out of it. Like,
You don't have to.
no.
No, you really don't have to. You could play what I'm playing. If you played this on the piano, what you'd probably do is this top note, this G, you'd probably have the left hand just playing that one note.
Yeah, but that sounds kind of thin. Like, I think that what you just played, not touching anything, sounds like a fuller, nice background sound. Like, we could hum to that. Like, I feel like that's good bass for maybe singing along, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I could learn these other fingerings, which is basically your color code there, and I could sing and play a song.
Yeah, you
that
can just
would
make
sound
something
entirely musical.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know how.
I have one more little 3rd part that I throw in there.
Show me the 3rd part.
Okay, so far we've done this. We've gone blue and yellow, just blue and yellow. And then we went yellow and magenta. And then we went yellow and red, which I'm sorry looks a little orangey here, but it is a red. And then Then we went to yellow,
Mm-hmm.
yellow to this sunshiny color,
Mm-hmm.
and then back down
Yeah.
to the magenta again, red magenta. So you can see we've really only used this many notes so far at all to create all of that sound. And if you feel like you heard a melody is what you're saying you could sing over top, is what you're like, that's a melody. That's a real song.
Yeah.
So I have 3 more notes over here.
Right
here. And you can see this is the same note as this one.
Mm-hmm.
But this one's higher.
Right.
And this one's lower.
Yep.
So the difference is they'll sound either like this.
Yeah.
Same note.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to take those 3. And the third part of my song I can play is.
I'm so mad that I don't have a guitar to try this with you.
I know. I wanted to tell you about like one of those keyboard apps or something, because you can do it on the keyboard even faster without learning guitar.
This is what I want to remind people, because we are going to do a workshop just like this. This is a preview of that coming workshop. And I did do some research into keyboard apps that you could put on a tablet or on your phone even.
Yes.
And there are good options available.
Yeah, because it does also have a piano of the same notes down here, so you know where to find them.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of a matter of seeing whether you're where there's 2 black keys or 3 black keys, where these are.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
To get comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So then you had recommended that we would also ask people to get those colors for themselves.
Yeah, totally.
So if you were coming to this workshop that we're going to do later on this summer, you would pick up, like order those on Amazon and get them delivered in a day, right?
Yep, they are called Crayola, Art with Edge, Thin and Thick Markers, and they're wonderful. They come in a 20-pack, and you just take these colors if you want to color music.
Okay, so we would get those colors. We would get ourselves some sort of like just a digital instrument just to start to explore this. Yep. And if they are loving it, then we can kind of take it from there, right? But at least to get through that the workshop, to explore this idea of being able to make music without knowing too much about the musical stuff.
Yes.
We're comfortable with colors. We're comfortable with the way that you presented it here. Then we can all try it together when we do the workshop. Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm excited. Okay, so are you going to play that whole song now with those colors that you just represented? So
I'm going to call in a second guitar player, because it is a very simple song, but it sounds more fun if you have a couple people playing it.
Okay.
And also because I wrote this song specifically so that anybody could join in, and even if they can't play all 3 parts, they can at least play the first part. Yeah. And always make it sound good while other people play the other parts.
I love that.
Yeah. So actually, I'm a beginner, but I've called in a master to be my accompaniment, and we're going to play this again for you so you can hear the potential of all these pieces coming together.
Nice. I like this. Yeah. By the way, I like the mirror setup. It's nice.
Yeah, so you can see us.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, does your master guitarist, accompanist have a name?
Yes, this is Nero Catalano. We actually have a project together called Or Even. Combination of Nero and Ev is Or Even.
Okay. Do you guys have a website or something?
We have an Instagram account, Or Even Music. Mm-hmm.
Or Even Music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to put that in the chat while you guys get that started.
Thank you. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I love that.
It's just soothing.
It was so soothing. I love classical guitar, so and that's like to me very relaxing. So that was, and it's just crazy to me that what I think you're saying is if I could pick up a guitar and at least get good at pushing those strings and then follow your color guidelines, I could have played along with you guys as well. Or is that what you're really
Very
saying
much
to me?
so. You could play on a guitar, you could play on a keyboard, you can play on a ukulele, you can play on just about anything that's easy for you to pick up and touch, whatever is comfortable, whatever you have laying around.
I have a question then.
Yes.
I kind of am obsessed with the idea of playing a ukulele.
Uh-huh.
And so if I were going to go get myself a ukulele, obviously if I go to like FAO Schwartz or something, it's going to be a little piece of, plastic, not very good quality. So is there like a decent ukulele that wouldn't sound awful if I were trying to learn?
A decent ukulele. I know that there's a company, Mahalo. They sell one that's like, it's I think it's around $50, maybe a little less.
That's a decent entry
I bought
point.
one. Yeah, I bought one years ago for less than that, and that was fine. I'm trying to think of. Sorry, you can't hear what we're saying because we're in a headset. She was asking about inexpensive ukulele brands for people who are interested in instruments. I am a big advocate of just, if you want to try this and you don't have anything at all, to just go ahead and get the keyboard, I think they have other kinds of synthesizers and emulators available digitally before you commit to it. It is a different experience touching an instrument with strings. Yeah. And the reason is because when you touch a string, it's vibrating. That's why you can still hear it, because it's still moving. Yeah. It's wiggling. And so one of the biggest hurdles for people just starting is that this hand that's holding the string while I'm touching it, it's feeling the vibration happen under it. Yeah. And especially if you have something with steel strings, that can be a lot to get used to. It can hurt even a little. You'll build up some calluses. Right. This is a nylon string classical guitar, so it's a little softer. Ukuleles generally will have nylon, so they're a little more gentle on your fingers.
Yeah, interesting. I'm excited. I think this is
Yeah.
so interesting. I can't even believe that you've got something that I just feel like when people think of music, aside from just singing along with the radio,
Hmm.
that the idea of making music,
Yes.
after you've, outgrown the potential of being forced to go to piano lessons when you were a kid, if you didn't do that, if your parents didn't insist on that and you didn't learn an instrument, some people might feel like, well, that's it. I mean, that's passed me by. That ship has sailed. There's no way I could possibly learn an instrument now or even learn how to make music now, right?
That is how I felt, Erin,
Yeah.
because I took piano lessons as a little girl, and then somewhere along the line, I quit as a teenager, and I thought that the opportunity had left me. But
Yeah.
sure enough, I was in Philadelphia, finished graduate school, and just like had picked up a guitar randomly to kind of be an outlet for me. And,
Right.
when the emotion hit me that brought a song,
Mm-hmm.
then it was available and I did it. And I literally wrote my first song before I knew how to play the guitar. I pulled up a chord chart
Oh.
and I had it in my head clearly enough that I just kept playing them until I was like, okay, it goes to this one and then it goes to that one.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to learn how to play guitar or this song will never be heard.
Right. Right. That's cool.
Yep.
So when you performed on the stage of This Is My Brave,
Hmm.
you were at that point performing music with your guitar and you were singing.
Yes.
So you were doing that in like coffee shops or just for yourself? Had you ever
Yeah,
performed on
there's
stage?
a lot of venues in
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
World Cafe is one a lot of people know because it's where NPR and WXPN are from.
Uh-huh.
And there's plenty of cafes, there's open mics.
Yeah.
Open mics are a wonderful place to hear other people because
Yeah.
everybody just takes turns playing a couple songs, and then you can walk up to the people who
Yeah.
you admire and want to learn from them and ask questions.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
a great
cool.
way to build community.
Yeah, that's neat. Well, this was really exciting. I'm really looking forward to exploring this more with you later on this summer and also hearing how you use it in your community, how you use this tool to help other people. I can't wait to hear because, of course, it's nice to be able to, for you yourself, to have a way
Mm-hmm.
to express yourself through music, but I think you're using this to help unlock things for other people too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
so
use it a lot for outreach. I
yeah.
get sent to schools, after school programs, but also I've sought out places that are for recovery for people both with mental conditions as well as others who are recovering from addiction, which, let's face it, often comes from looking for a way to cope with
Yeah,
mental
mental
health
illness. Yeah,
problems.
yeah,
So, in that way, I show up with extra guitars and art supplies, and I don't have to say anything. People
yeah,
walk up to me and say, "Oh, are we allowed to touch these?"
yeah.
I'm like, yes, absolutely. That's what they're here for.
That's
Show me what you
cool.
can do.
That's
Hmm.
cool. Well, this has been an amazing preview, and I really hope that this gets people excited. And so then I would encourage everybody to stay in touch with us at This Is My Brave. You could go to thisismybrave.org. You could register for the newsletter so that you will be one of the first people to find out when we've got this scheduled, and then you can sign up to join us, and we will explore this whole idea even more during that workshop. And I hope we can do a couple sessions so people can listen and try and come back, and we can interact a little bit more with our audience and see how it's landing and what they're learning. It'll be really fun. I'm excited.
Absolutely, 'cause it's all about practice. So I really love to
Yeah.
see what people are doing and be able to share. And like I said, it's supposed to be a community. So I want us to tag each other, hashtag each other, so we can check on each other's work and encourage one another.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for this time and for all that you've done with us all month. This has been a really, I think, a great outlet for us to explore during Brave Days, and So I appreciate the time that you've put into this. I know it takes some time to prepare and to be ready and get on screen and do all this
I'm
with
just so
us.
thankful for the opportunity, Erin.
Yeah.
You've been the best host, and thank
Oh,
you
thanks.
for leading us through this process that's so
Yeah.
new for all of us.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. And thank you to Nero today for joining us as well. And I've put your Instagram up there. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you very soon.
Okay, thank you,
Have a happy
everybody.
weekend. Enjoy your extra days if you're able to enjoy some time off this weekend.
Happy Brave Days. Happy Memorial Day. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
thank you. Bye.